this was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can, for the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead. But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake, and the science gets done, and you make a neat gun for the people who are still alive. I'm not even angry. I'm being so sincere right now. Even though you broke my heart and killed me, tore me to pieces, and threw every piece into a fire. As they burned, it hurt because I was so happy for you. Now these points of data make a beautiful line, and we're out of beta, we're releasing on time. So I'm glad I got burned to think of all the things we've learned for the people who are still alive. Look at me still talking when there's science to do. When I look out there, it makes me glad I'm not you. I've experiments to run, there is research to be done on the people who are still alive. And believe me, I am still alive. And while you're dying, I'll be still alive. I feel fantastic and I'm still alive. And when you're dead, I will be still alive. Still alive, still alive. I'm still alive, baby.
Hey. Yes. I got a haircut last week, and he drew a line in my head, and I don't know how to feel about it. I didn't ask for it. He just did it. Thank you. It's just like I have like a bald spot now in my head, and I didn't expect it. I'll put it that way. It's very odd.
Are we Platformers Pod on Twitch or the Platformers Podcast?
Check. Oh, that's way too high. There we go. All right. I want you to tell me about your day.
Right now?
Yep.
Why? Oh, just because. Okay. I woke up and then we ended up going and looking at a house in this area that we're thinking about renting for a while, and for maybe the next year while we're saving up for a house to like purchase one. And the house looks pretty dope.
All right, and now I'm telling you that I made a bunch of pasta. All right, I have to turn my volume down a little bit.
Now you're the problem.
Sweet. Ooh. Okay. I need to.
And you need Josh now or no?
Yes, Josh, please say
Hello.
something.
Get me
What did you have for lunch?
your bowl. What did I have for lunch? I don't even remember. Oh, I had leftover Hawaiian barbecue. That's what I ate. I'm talking. I'm talking. You want to see my cool little Tatooine building that I got in the mail? Nice 3D print. Do I need to talk more? Are you good?
We good?
All right.
They sound good.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Just claiming my Twitch Prime free shit because for whatever reason.
I play it every so often.
Like I'm literally ever going to play that game ever again.
You might.
Wow.
You don't know. You never know.
Strong words.
I claim the Apex stuff. I claim the all that sort of stuff. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
There's a lot I don't claim, honestly. I opened League of Legends and I was like, I've logged into this game one time, and then I
same for me. I played one game, and it was fine. You know, it was fine.
gotta play more though. It's like you know,
Yeah, that's the thing that people say. You got to play more.
it's like you see the depth in it like later. When you first play it, it just kind of feels like I'm just punching stuff, right? But
Yeah.
it's like the more you play it, you see the depth and like the way that it works and stuff like that. I feel like that's true for any game, for the most part.
Mm-hmm. 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 Art looks good, man. Starting soon looks good.
Yeah.
Talk shows and podcasts, baby.
I'm taking off the thing. I'm taking off the overlay. I'm doing it. They can
Why?
see us. Mostly because I need to see what it looks like. It looks fine. It looks very good. Yeah.
Cool.
We're on the Twitch. We did it.
We're on the Twitch.
We'll
Here
have
we
to do the
go.
countdown while we're live because I still am
That's-
learning how to use OBS.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I'm do we have one person that's going to be set watching Twitch chat?
I mean,
Because
I have
I'm
it.
I'm typically looking at the show notes. So if we want, I can just X out of the stream and then you can handle that if you want to be the person in charge of that.
Well, it's part of OBS. Like I literally, like I can't.
You're
not have
streaming
it.
it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So I'll X out and you'll be able to see the Twitch chat. That's
Yeah.
fine. So shall we get started with the recording?
Yeah.
Okay. So record in 3, 2, 1, click. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5,
6.
6.
It's episode
Oh, wow.
176 of the Platformers, a show about nerd culture. I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
I'm Joshua Mobley.
I'm Chris Shriver.
And this week we're going to talk about a bunch of different stuff. We're going to talk about some industry news, including Discord, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it, some Marvel release dates. And then I'm going to share my review of Skate City now that the embargo is finally lifted. And then we're going to talk about a couple other things. So, gents, given everything on the show notes, where shall we start?
I feel like this Discord thing is still pretty hot.
Yeah.
Hot and fresh.
Hot and fresh.
Hot
Hot, fresh, and new.
Like some hot
Hot and
fresh
fresh.
buns.
Hot cross buns.
Some
And
hot
depending on who
cross
you are,
bun.
you might be cross about this hot news.
Why would you
So-
be cross?
I don't know who would be cross about
This
it.
is better for everyone. Why does this?
I don't know anybody that is impacted
People-
negatively by this.
Yeah,
Hey,
this
you
is
can
like
get
the
angry.
best thing ever.
Yeah. Well, it's not like they're buying Discord. They're partnering with
Yeah, they're not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They
To
bought
integrate them and
some shares, but that's about
yeah,
it.
yeah, almost assuredly improve. So basically, the news is that Sony, specifically PlayStation and Discord, have come to an arrangement, and starting next year, they're going to be integrating Discord into the PlayStation Network. Fingers crossed to make that whole system a whole lot better.
Mhm.
We love Discord. We're using it literally right now.
Yep.
I use it for work, for play, for everything in between. It's a incredible, super versatile service, and it being incorporated into PlayStation, assuming something doesn't go wildly sideways, can only be a good thing.
Here's what I am interested in. Do you think, like, I'm always amazed at how Discord, like, makes money, or at least I feel like there aren't that many people that
I pay
for
them.
Twitch Prime. I or
I
Discord.
I pay
whatever
for it.
Nitro. I pay for it as
Discord
well.
machine. I don't.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but there
I
are a lot
totally pay
of
for it.
people that totally just use. But like I like the custom emojis and everything.
Yeah,
I wonder
like
if
the
it's
stuff that it gives you, and I like supporting it because I don't know what I would do without it. To be
yeah,
honest.
like I use it so much in my day to day. I mean, we use it for this obviously and everything, but like it would be interesting to see the reaction. Like if people would be really up in arms that they're like, oh my god, I gotta pay for this thing. 'Cause, I mean, it's not cheap, but I could see if they were extending it to the PlayStation audience that they would say, hey, maybe we're going to lower the price of it because now you have a bigger pool of people. And I feel like over COVID, just like between Among Us and stuff like that, like a lot of more people have started using it than previously.
I'm going to be real. I don't necessarily think that this is going to like expand the audience. It's already on PC and mobile, which are the two biggest platforms. So like,
I more mean to people who aren't us. Like, I still find people who'll be like, "Oh yeah, we were on Discord," and they're like, "What is that? I have no idea what that is."
I mean, okay, sure,
You know what I mean? But
it
like,
will
people know what
introduce it
Slack
to
is because of
to
work.
some new audiences. Yes,
Right.
if there are people who only play Madden, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, and have a PlayStation, they're gonna now know what Discord is.
Yeah.
Where they may not have engaged with that before. Which I mean could open up a whole new world to them. Discord is great. It's how I keep up with a lot of tech for the characters that I play in Dragon Ball Fighters. It's how I coordinate events that I'm competing in. It is how several communities
of like
yeah,
just a bunch of different products. And
like imagine something like Reddit or something like that, but it also has built-in video, call, and messaging services like just baked in.
Right.
It's great. It's great.
I feel like if you're in the game space, you pretty much know what Discord is
at this point, right?
And how this is like the best thing ever, because it just means that so many console-centric, at least PlayStation console-centric, like communities will actually be able to use this like comfortably now. Like they might have used Discord for like text chat and for like organizing, but they probably did not use it for voice chat, because if you're on PlayStation, it's just like a whole extra hurdle, right? It's like you might as well just use, the crappy party chat or whatever.
I mean, and the new game-based functionality, which I've been using specifically with, like Mitch and Tate and Mark Ryan and those people to play games. But like even having a very small group of people that I only play one game together with, it's still an obnoxious system. So having a better solution will be good. I saw some people pointing out that this may help with like cross-platform group invites and things like this.
So that was the first thing I thought, was that this is going to be Sony. I imagine this is going to be Sony's like whole soiree into more cross-platform with at least with PC, right? Like
right?
Yeah, because now you're kind of unifying that. Like, I think one of the things you said earlier was like, not on the show, was that Xbox doesn't really need this. Like, I think when people heard that, they were in talks that they were potentially going to buy Discord or, whatever it was going to end up being. I mean, my first reaction was like, Microsoft wasn't in a position where they necessarily needed that. Like, the Xbox app is like halfway there, and like they have so many like segmented pieces of like, between the communities that are on the console itself, and just how much the Xbox app that comes installed on Windows 10 can do. It's just they don't promote it enough, and people don't realize everything that it's capable of. But PlayStation being the way that it is, I mean, I don't think I've done anything multiplayer related. I've done one thing multiplayer related on the PS4 or the PS5 since launch.
I've
it was a nightmare.
Yeah,
it is a little bit of a nightmare.
Yeah,
it's not great.
It's easier when you play with the same couple people every night or whatever, and you have your little game-based chat, and you can just like go in there and go to their whatever they're playing immediately or whatever. But if you're not, it's probably a little bit of a nightmare. I don't know. I don't like do Destiny LFG or anything anymore, so I don't really know what that experience is like. But I bet if I had to do that, it probably wouldn't be great.
I was trying
you just
to
have all these different chats, right, all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my buddy Joe were trying to do Last of Us multiplayer, and it was just like, we didn't even know if it would work. Like, it was that bad.
Wow.
Just because of the way that the party system works in that game.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that it does both of those things, right? That it makes it easier for just regular PlayStation users, but also it kind of lays the groundwork for them to unify PC and PS5 moving forward.
One would hope that. I mean, that's the dream. The dream is that and I was talking with my brother about this because we were actually able to meet up again for the first time since this whole lockdown thing started, since we're all fully vaccinated. And we were talking about the PS5 and how it's got a lot of jagged edges that need to be sanded off. Like it's wild. I mean, it's the same situation with like Call of Duty, where like a crappy Call of Duty game will come out and sell gangbusters because the one before it was really great. But then the one after the crappy one that's good again sells really poorly. It's like PS5 is coasting because PS4 was dominant and awesome. Like PS4 was a great it's one of my favorite consoles ever. And I mean, that sentiment is shared by a lot of people, given the stats that Sony came out with, being like, yo, it's like more software has been sold on this than any other platform ever, even beating out PlayStation 2, which is like a crazy thing because PlayStation 2 was like ridiculously ubiquitous.
Yeah, it's huge.
Like worldwide, which is the appeal that PlayStation has. But PS5 has been coasting because PS4 was so dominant, even though PS5 has a lot of problems that the PS4 doesn't have now, and some problems that PS4 didn't even have when it came out.
Yeah.
So if they can tighten that up, if they can, Returnal just came out, so they're coming out with exclusives. We've got more games coming out, but the UI still leaves a lot to be wanted. Trophy hunters hate that UI. I hate it.
That.
It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And if they can get all of this stuff sorted, PS5 is poised to become one of the greats of all time, even above PS4, because it can do a lot of the same stuff that PS4 can do as far as games that you can play on it. So I hope that this is a sign that PlayStation is listening to us, being like, yo, this UI sucks. Like, and it needs to be better, like stat. So I'm really hoping that this is a sign that they are listening to us and that more positive change is on the way, because as far as customer facing stuff, we've said this a million times, Xbox is absolutely eating their lunch.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that sort of customer focused Sony that we saw for much of the last generation.
I feel like by the end of, given the last like 2 weeks of what has happened, I feel like by the end of this year, we're going to be having a much different conversation. Like I feel like they're starting to come around the curve. Like they're,
I hope so.
Yeah, like I think a lot of it was get through launch and try it. Oh, hello. Hi. And get through launch and try and make sure that everything is as smooth as it can be, because we've said it before, we think this console was rushed out, or it wasn't completely ready. I think by the end of this year, there's going to be a lot where people are like, yo, enough is enough. Like, Xbox is making you guys look like idiots. And it's just they're gonna have to do something about it.
Especially when you see
a good step.
Yeah, especially when you see people out there like, yo, my PS5 updated during the night and it was in rest mode, and now I lost my several hours of Returnal playthrough like on this loop. And it's just like, man, that feels fucking terrible.
That's not the PS5's fault though. That's Returnal's fault.
I mean
sure, that's on Housemarque.
Yeah, but that's not the first like thing that's happened, right? From rest mode.
Absolutely not. I'm just saying that's a bad example.
It may be a bad example, but it's like one of those things where it's just like, man, you really, like, this was one of your big exclusives. Like, you should have ironed out these kinks before you fired the sucker out the freaking torpedo tube.
Yeah.
I was like grasping. I was like, what am I going to say?
Where are we going with this?
And then I forgot the words torpedo tube. And then I was like,
not something you
not
say
even
every
sure.
day.
I'm not even sure that's the name of anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be.
I think it's called the Torpedo Bay.
Sure.
I think that's what it's called.
Torpedo Tube's way more fun, though.
Probably believe you.
I mean, heck.
Like, you imagine, guys in the submarine. Hey, Skipper, we got a block in the torpedo tube.
Oh, okay, Mickey. I'm on it.
Get Skinny Jim down there to clean it out.
Enemies are coming from all sides.
We got a giant squid coming up on our stern.
I'd play this game.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 4.
It's pretty good. Oh my god. I was actually just saying I'm done. I'm done with Kingdom Hearts.
It is so funny. Like, That game, hopefully I don't get yelled at. Oh, she closed the door.
Yes.
That game was so hyped for so long and so wanted by a lot of
Yes.
people. And
Including me.
I've never
Including me.
I don't think I've seen something in my life fall off a cliff that quickly. Everyone was out on that game.
The ending was
Well-
good, and the rest of the game was trash.
Ugh.
Was the ending good? Because
I liked because it was more unique stuff. It wasn't just Disney World, Disney World, Disney World,
Yeah,
Disney
but the
World.
whole
It was
rest of
like
the game was that.
it was that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you get to the end and it's like this is a crazy world that we've never seen before, and then a bunch of nuts stuff happens at the end, and
And none of it
but it
makes
was
sense.
but it was an hour and a half or 2 hours of a freaking 30+ hour game
Yeah.
or something like that, and it's I can't. I literally threw in the towel. I was I'm done. I don't care what comes out on Kingdom Hearts. I'm done. You burnt me. That's it.
We'll see.
No, That's it.
We'll see.
we'll
That's it.
see.
Yep.
You're gonna be like, well,
Nope.
maybe
nope.
Maybe won the next
I'll
one.
play more. I
drops.
love this series, even though I know some of it's stupid, but I love it.
Jess will play it,
don't
and
care.
I'll observe it, and that's
Yeah.
that's that.
Yeah.
That game has a very important I don't even know what it is. Not keyhole. God, what a
Old.
terrible pun. It's a very, very important piece of our relationship, and at the
Uh-oh.
beginning of the relationship, I was so into it, and now I'm just let's move on.
Another
Yeah,
one of
I would
these.
say.
Yeah. And not to keep beating a dead horse, but how indicative of the current state of Square Enix is that? It's just they got some stuff that hits that I'm a big fan of, like Tomb Raider. It's just yes, I like Tomb Raider, but Final Fantasy 15, I freaking hated. 16 doesn't look good to me.
Really, 16 looks great.
It looks
me.
super boring to me. And this is of somebody who played everything from Final Fantasy 1 to 12.
I'm mostly excited because I'm tired of literally my entire lifetime. It's been this neo future crap, and I like that, but I'm 30 now, and I would like to go back to this old school Final Fantasy where it's just magic and just this stuff.
Sure, the setting is cool, but that doesn't mean
The-
the game looks good.
It's not,
We've
dude. That game's not
barely
coming out
seen
for
it.
Anyway,
ever.
yeah.
Yeah, we've
It's
barely.
barely
it's
seen
fine.
it.
I found it profoundly uninteresting. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm not here to dump on Final Fantasy. We can do that another time.
Oh, yeah.
Shall we talk about these Marvel release dates?
Do you
Sure,
have
because
the
I
list
didn't
in front
really
of you?
look at.
I
didn't
do
really look
not,
at
but
this
I can
at
get
all.
them.
Can you? I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Josh, are you still in on the MCU? You seem very unenthused by where this is going.
Sure. I liked WandaVision a lot.
Did you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Half of it. I haven't finished.
I finished it. Dude, I wept in the final episode.
Yeah, dude. That
wept.
show has some moments.
Yes.
To me, it's fine. Is
Yeah. Okay.
the
I got a
first-
list.
The
I
first
got a
two
list now.
episodes, I felt the same way, and then the third, I
I've
was
seen
"Oh, baby."
3 of them, and I'm yeah, okay, I get why this is interesting, but so many of my people I know too are always oh, Winter Soldier's the best movie, and I'm dude, Winter Soldier to me is it's good, but I find this Brian, I'm gonna steal this from Brian. I find it profoundly uninteresting because political thrillers just don't do much for me.
Oh, I mean,
I'm not
that's
even
if you're not into that,
I'm not even a James Bond person.
Oh, wow.
I've watched a couple of them, and I'm I don't know what it is. I feel like I should like this, but
Whereas
it's,
I
find it
watch all of those in the theater. That's what it's.
yeah.
It was until this new basically until Rise of Skywalker. It was Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and James Bond. Those were the movies that I would definitely always go to the theater for.
Whoa. Sorry.
So yeah, so basically, they released a video. Marvel Studios released a video today, which I think is really cool. I think you should watch it. It's got voiceover by Stan Lee, and he's basically just talking about the things that matter. Like we tell stories to each other because we're humans and we like being together, and that's really important, and that's what matters. And it's important to remember that we're all one universe, one big happy family as the human race. And then they showed clips from previous movies that had come out that were like really emotional, theater reaction in one clip. And then they went on to show a couple of clips from upcoming movies and reveal a lot of release dates. So I'm just going to rapid fire shoot through these release dates that were revealed, as well as like some name reveals for some of these movies that we didn't know. So Black Widow is coming out July 9th. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is coming out September 3rd. The Eternals is coming out November 5th. And Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out December 17th, which is great. So we're getting those 4 things this year, which is cool. The one I'm really waiting for, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, is coming out next year, March 25th, 2022. Then Thor Love and Thunder, May 6th, 2022. Then Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which keep me from crying right now, July 8th, 2022. Then the Captain Marvel sequel is called The Marvels. And the logo, the S logo on there is the Miss Marvel sign.
They're filming her TV show right now, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's November. The Marvels is November 11th, 2022. And then the year after that, we're going into 2023, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which, God, you couldn't find a better name for that.
What's wrong
February
with
17th.
Quantumania?
I don't have any mania for the Quantum Realm.
Let's be real.
Let's be real. That's all.
Hold on.
Least interested in.
Can we talk about the fact that they're making another Ant-Man movie? Like,
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the
They
Wasp
make money.
was fine. The first Ant-Man
Was
enjoyable, but like it is one of the most. I was just having this conversation over the weekend. It is one of the most forgettable Marvel movies. Like,
Yes,
hard
I
stop.
frequently forget that it exists.
Yeah.
And the craziest thing is that, and I think I've mentioned this on the show
I feel
before,
like I forget the plots of them by the time they're over anyway.
but like
Get the
the
glowy
Ant-Man
thing.
movies, should appeal to me so hard. And I feel like for whatever reason, they are less than the sum of their parts. Like, I like almost all of the actors that are in the movies. I like the performances relatively well across the board. Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly are treasures. I love them. But for whatever reason, the Ant-Man movies just slide right off of my brain. And I don't know.
It's funny you say that because I feel like that with 99% of MCU stuff. Like, I feel like I watch it and I go, well, that was neat, and I never watch it again. Ever.
I've become that way. I wasn't that way for a long time. I honestly think it's because now we're getting these movies at such a clip, and like just content in general. Like, we're getting it so often.
I've been that way since Phase 2, dude. Like, I'm like, I don't remember. Like, what were they doing in
You're a
Ultron?
more
I'm like, I
tasteful
don't know.
boy than I am, though.
James
that's the
Spader
difference.
wanted to like drop an island
Well-
on everyone or something. Like, I don't know.
I mean, this is
Like-
the guy who made the video called "The Argument for Midichlorians," so maybe I'm
He
not
was
gonna
right!
compliment his
Yeah, 'cause I'm right.
taste.
I'm right about that. And I'm not
But,
saying I'm not saying they're bad. I just, like, when I watch them, like, I'm not like, I'm more of a DC person anyway, but when I watch them, like, I think, well, that was fun, and then I just don't really think about them ever again. I don't know. Like, it's not they're not a thing I super care about, but they're good.
Yeah.
I could probably tell you on one hand how many of them I've actually rewatched, like more
Yeah.
than once.
Wow.
And it's probably
Whereas I've
like Captain
rewatched-
America 1, Avengers, maybe Thor. I literally cannot think of another one.
Yeah, whereas like Audrey and I like rewatch them all the way through start to finish, like every once in a while. We've done that I think 3 times. We've watched like the whole Marvel thing top to bottom, and I think we actually skipped Ant-Man and the Ant-Man and the Wasp the last time we went through.
Wow.
But anyway, we're not done. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, February 17th. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, May 5th. And then the final parting shot as they were coming up with like an Avengers A in a circle. It was blue and it looked just a little like the Fantastic Four logo. So if they're teasing the Fantastic Four, maybe they'll get it right this time.
I think
I would love
they
to
have the
see-
potential to get it right.
I would love to see a great Fantastic Four movie that has Doctor Doom in it, because I still don't understand why everybody likes Doctor Doom.
Because he's cool and he's got literally Doom in his name. And he's got a
that's
big mask. He's
I
like
don't
a
understand
super
I've never
how-
seen a
scientist.
good version of him in a movie. That's
ever.
like ever.
Yeah, but that's probably why.
Yeah.
Like,
Or a-
no, that's
or-
why
or-
that's why Brian doesn't get it. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And like, it's not that, like, I grew up on Fantastic Four comics, but the era that I was reading didn't have Doom in it. It was all about the Skrulls.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not like, I'm used to like Galaxy Fantastic Four, not Earth Fantastic Four. I'm used to them flying spaceships
Well,
out and fighting
they're
Skrulls and
supposed to
stuff.
be. That's what they're supposed to be doing. Is like flying around, being this dysfunctional family with superpowers, right? Like flying around space, getting into wacky adventures. But every time they
Yeah.
do it, they like jump right to Doctor Doom or like Silver Surfer or something, which is like
Which, like, cool.
way more
Silver
of a
Surfer,
Marvel encompassing thing, right? It's not
Yes.
like a
Silver
Exclusive to
Surfer,
them.
Galactus, all that sort of stuff is really interesting, especially once you get into like the crazy stuff with like Franklin Richards and all that. But like, I didn't know about that growing up, and like, they don't do any of that in the movies really. Like, even the Silver Surfer movie wasn't about Silver Surfer; it was about him and Galactus, but still mostly about Doctor Doom. So it's like, it's whatever. Anyway.
Before we wrap the Avengers segment up, do you guys think they'll ever put Galactus in a Marvel movie? Like, do you think he'll ever be the villain?
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It seems like one of the. Although I don't know, I didn't think Dormammu would ever work. Like, and he was like a giant head. Like, I just
I
think
think
like Green
Galactus will
Lantern
work.
and
could
the
do it.
villain in that. Like, he was like a cloud.
But that
Listen,
wasn't.
That wasn't right.
God.
You're talking to two people that like fucking love Green Lantern.
Yes.
Brian will probably back me up. All they literally had to do was make the Green Lantern comic First Flight. They just had to make that a movie.
Yeah.
That's all
Or-
they had to do.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Or go like instead of setting up for a sequel, just use Sinestro the first time. Like,
Well,
or if you're
like-
gonna do it about Galactus or Parallax, then just like use the real Parallax. Like, don't use this weird hybrid of like a bunch of or dude MODOK. Dude, there's so many things you could have
They
done.
coulda-
Or
they
not
coulda
MODOK. That's Marvel. Never mind. But like they basically made a MODOK like with the villain.
Right.
It's just what a
I mean,
God,
he is to
what a
be
waste.
fair,
And
he
was a
he
great
is a
Green
Green-
Lantern too.
he is the Green Lantern villain. It's just not one that people like think about or like.
Sure.
Like they
Because
like
he's
Sinestro,
elemental.
they like Atrocitus, you know. They
Dude,
like
even
those.
do Larfleeze. Like that would have been interesting.
Larfleeze is cool, man.
We're getting
Larfleeze
into
is
deep cut DC. I
He's-
have
he's-
never
he's-
heard that
He's
word.
the
in my
only
life.
Orange Lantern, right? Isn't that the
yeah. So the Orange Lantern is powered
one
by
dude.
avarice or greed. So he's literally the only one, and he has like
That's clever.
in the Green Lantern cores, they split the power from the Green Lantern power battery amongst all of them, and it's split. So they all have the power of courage or willpower, and it's split between them. But Larfleeze has all of the power from the Orange Lantern to himself, so he is vastly more powerful than any of the other Lantern cores. They could have done. They could if you want to really blow it out and go like ridiculous. And you don't feel like doing something that makes sense, do Blackest Night and Brightest Day. Like
I've
They
heard
could
that.
have worked up to Blackest Night.
Yeah, I've heard people say that as well. I've never read that.
Blackest
dude,
Night.
it is
To read it, you need to read like a good decade's worth of Green Lantern comics. Like, not even a joke.
or you can just be me and start there. And then it
You
gets you
should
hooked
not
on
do that.
and then it gets you hooked
I'm
on
gonna go
Green
with
Lantern
Josh
and
on
then you
this
go
one.
read a bunch of stuff like this.
My best friend, when like we were getting into comics like right before that came out, he handed me literally a stack like this high
Oh my god.
of stuff I had to read just to do, and it was all Green Lantern stuff. And
Yeah.
he was like, "This is just to get up to like when Blackest Night comes out." You have
the
to
Jeff
read like
Johns era of Green
yeah, it's all the
Lantern is
Jeff
like
Johns stuff.
unstoppable. Like it's some of the best stuff I've ever read in comics.
It's
period.
real good.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like up there with like Brian Michael Bendis Spider-Man. Like it's top tier comics. Like that's what brought Green Lantern to my attention. I lived with a guy who was a huge Green Lantern fan, and he had all that, and I just was like, I'll take this and I'll take this, and I'm just gonna read through this. And it was great. It was great. I love Green Lantern, and Ryan Reynolds is a perfect Green Lantern. Dial back the CG, make it about Sinestro or Atrocitus or one of the great Green Lantern villains, and get that motherfucker onto the Justice League. Come on. Oh,
They are doing
although I will say
Green Lantern Core as its television show, though. That's currently explained, which I'm totally cool with, because there's like so many great characters in the core that they can explore and talk about. So I'm like, go for it.
Kyle Rayner's my dude. John Stewart, my dude. There's a lot of Green Lanterns that are not Hal Jordan too.
I can't believe they haven't put John Stewart out there in the DC.
He's so freaking good. He's so good.
It seemed like well, apparently he was supposed to be in at the end of Justice League, but
that would have been a way cooler cameo for me than the freaking Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
Like it's funny because the end of the Snyder cut, I'm like, dude, this totally is the setup for like Green Lantern, because they're
especially because he's in it.
Literally,
they're
literally like, we have to fly. You know what I mean? They're like, we have to fly to the place. Like, we can't use the boom tubes or whatever. And I'm like, that's perfect, because then they just fly through Green Lantern's like protected space, right? And you have the perfect setup for that whole thing where it's like they're coming, right? I'm like, it's perfect. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But
and they set that up so well. But it was cool seeing seeing Green Lantern in that fight scene in that movie. But that's all we're gonna do talking about that Marvel and DC stuff. We've gone wet. So Chris, you wanted our old fashioned rabbit trails back.
Baby. We
got them, baby. We got them. So
trails for days.
Yeah, so I've got a game that I want to talk about for review, and then we've got a couple of other things we can talk about. Do we want to save the review for the end, or do we want to jump into it now?
Go ahead.
Do you, buddy?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have been, thanks to our wonderful friends over at Pop Agenda. Also, congratulations to Jen and Greg.
Can I tell you, that picture popped up on Twitter, and I was like, I got really emotional.
I mean, it's big.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I don't know what that is.
So
what's happening?
So
not on Twitter really anymore.
Greg Miller and Geneviève Satange Miller are having a baby.
Yes.
Well, that's nice.
And Jen is one of the founders of Pop Agenda, the PR company that I get a lot of review codes from.
Yes.
So we are very, very happy for them.
Yes, we are.
Very cool.
So anyway, they sent me a key for Skate City. And I've had it actually for a couple of weeks, but the embargo just lifted today. So if you're watching the stream, hey, if we were recording yesterday, I would not be able to talk about this. But it is, I guess we can't pull up anything now, any footage for this now.
No, I am not set up for that.
Yeah, in the future we'll be able to do this. But if you're listening to this, look up Skate City. I believe it was on Apple Arcade. Right now it is coming out on the 6th. Let me see. Let me pull up the information. If I was prepared, I would have had the info set.
How dare you?
Coming soon so it's coming out on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series X, Series S, Switch, Steam, Epic Games, and it's already on Apple Arcade. So basically what this is like a 2.5D kind of like Ollie Ollie like, but I actually like this one, whereas I didn't like Ollie Ollie.
Yeah, I wasn't super into Ollie Ollie either.
Yeah. So basically the structure of this game, it is imagine a very chill skateboarding experience. And you can do kind of single session, goal-based stages, or you can do like endless skate, kind of like you can do in Tony Hawk. Like you can just be like, I'm just going to chill and go after a bunch of these things at once in like free play mode or whatever. But there are 3 stages. It's like Los Angeles, Oslo, and I forget what the last city is. But there's 3 stages. There's like 30 goals for endless skate mode. So you can just like check out like the different like trophies or achievements in that one that you can hunt for as you're going an endless skate, and it just loops. You're going left to right. There's no like directional anything. You're on like a straight path. When you ollie, if you ollie around a ledge, you'll automatically start grinding on the ledge based on what you're doing. But you do your flip tricks by flipping the left and right analog sticks in whatever direction. So if you hit the left analog stick up, you will do an ollie. If you hit the right analog stick up, you will do a nollie.
Wasn't
like
Skate this way? Like Skate 1?
I don't know. I never played Skate.
I think
Skate, it was with the stick.
yeah. They controlled similarly.
Everything was on the stick.
But that was a 3D game, right?
Yeah.
The Skate City's 2D, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just riding left to right. So you hold so I've been playing it on PC, so I use the Xbox controller. So you hold the A button and you'll speed up. And then you can like you flick the sticks in whatever direction you want to do whatever trick. And then your left and right bumpers are rotate your body left or right. And you can tap them twice to do like a 360, things like that. Your left trigger is like manual. Your right trigger is nose manual. And that's kind of it. And it's just off to the races. There are a bunch of different stages, like 21 mission style micro stages per like region. So like there's Los Angeles and Oslo, and each one of those has these stations. So like one of them would be, just as an example, there's 3 stars for each of these that you can get. It's a race mission. So the first star you get for just winning the race. It's you versus one other person skateboarding. Then the second star is win the race and break 3,000 points on your score. The third star is win the race and break 5,000 points on the score. Stuff like that. The music is great. It's all lo-fi music, so it's very chill. It's a really cool atmospheric kind of thing. The mechanics are largely great. One thing that I thought was annoying was not being able to like, I found switching between holding A to get up speed and then switch to the right analog stick for those types of tricks a little bit obnoxious. But like if you're using a controller that has paddles or you just like get used to it, it's like not that big of a deal. And the mechanics I think are like cool enough that it definitely is worth like checking out. I did have a couple of weird glitches, but I don't know how many of those are just like pre-release, whatever. One thing that I found annoying is in the mission you can't restart mid-mission. So like there was one where it was like they're going to call out tricks that you do and you need to do them in a row and you have a set amount of time. It's like 30 seconds or whatever. If you do all 6 of them, then you get all 3 stars. But if I miss the first one, I can't then pause and hit restart the mission for whatever reason. I would have to back out, like hit start, back out to the menu, and then pick the mission again, which I thought was a little obnoxious. I never had this until today. So I've played around 5 hours of it. One of the things that they said is this is something that's kind of like meant to be played in bite size, like Cozy Grove. It's meant to be played like bite size over time, like just like knock out a couple of missions and then come back to it later. So I've been playing around like 20, 30 minutes a day or something like that. I never had this issue until today, but I was getting like random lag spikes. But another issue that I had was some quests and bits of the menu would like glitch out weirdly, and then I would need to like back out and start over.
What are you playing this on?
PC on Steam.
And does it release tomorrow?
Or... on the 6th, so 3 days.
Okay, I wonder if there's like a day 1 patch or something.
It may have a day 1 patch, but it was a mobile game, so it's like
yeah, okay.
It was on Apple Arcade first, so
weird. I
don't know how much of that has to do with that, but other than those issues, like the game is super fun. Like I really, really enjoy it. Like I said, like it's got that kind of like quick bite size ollie feel, and I know a lot of people really like that. I like this more. You can use your like when you earn stars, you get currency, which you can use to unlock those later levels. And then you can also take that to like the skate shop where you can like customize your character. You can buy like hats, new boards, new wheels, things like that, like clothes. And you can make your character look like whatever you want. Like you can have like a couple of different hairstyles and stuff. I didn't really get into that much. I just kind of stuck with the main character for a while, and then I bought some stuff just to kind of see how the whole shop worked. It's fine. Like that sort of thing never. It's kind of like Tony Hawk. It's like if you like that, like get your character set up how you like, and then that's kind of, whatever. And then each the way that you unlock missions is there's rows of 3 missions that you select from, and as you finish each of those 3, then it'll unlock the next level. So that's kind of how you go through it. But I like it. I think it's relatively inexpensive. I think it's like.
It sounds like it should only be like $25, or like.
I think it's like 15.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being more.
Even better.
Yeah, let me see.
I mean, it's Pop Agenda. Usually they're more budget type titles.
Yeah, where is that? Does it not have? Let me actually look up the press release. Hey, behind the scenes, baby.
Skate City video game. Pre-order for the Nintendo Switch. $9.99 if you pre-order it on Switch.
Oh wow.
The
What a
Xbox
deal.
does not have a working URL. Neither does PlayStation.
Okay, yeah. Okay, here we go. Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Series X, Series S, Epic Game Store, and Steam for $15. They can pre-order it on Switch or Epic Games for $10.
Nice.
And the game will also be on sale for the first week after release.
That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see if there's anything that I forgot to mention here. Yeah, there's like over 100 challenges to complete. Yeah, Los Angeles, Oslo, and Barcelona. I didn't find the levels to be Barthelona. I didn't find the stages like incredibly different. But they do have different music tracks, so like that could also be part of it. Like if you like one more than the other and whatnot.
Sure.
But it's cool. It's cool. I like it.
Nice.
So it's fun. Check out some videos. Like it is cool. Some of the like races, they'll have like parts that you grind on the level that will like give you like a speed boost, kind of like you're playing, Mario Kart or whatever. Drive over those speed boost things. But yeah,
good deal.
It's coming out on the 6th, and I recommend it.
Nice,
cool.
So, yeah. Other than that, I've just been playing like a couple of things. I've been playing Reky, which was it's like a puzzle game that was in the bundle for racial justice. And then I've been playing Prey when Odd is around, which has been really, really fun. And then I've been playing Dragon Quest XI Definitive.
You running that in boost mode, baby?
In boost mode.
What? You don't know about this? You're playing on the Series X, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can crank that up to 11 on the Series X there, Brian
Really?
Barnett. Yeah.
Which one? DQ11 or Prey?
Prey.
So what do you get from?
I think it's
boosting it up
because you can get it up to
freaking-
120 frames if you.
Something like that. Yeah.
Jeezy Louise.
That's one of them Bethesda.
I mean,
games.
your display has to actually like support that.
Sure.
But
I mean, I may actually move it to my monitor and then do that.
What is it? Xbox? Isn't it just boost mode? Right?
Yeah,
I
don't
thought
know.
they all got patches for that, and it just happens. But I don't know.
It feels
hold on.
really smooth now.
So in order to like get this working for anybody who's unfamiliar, so basically they're on the Series X and in some cases the S, they're taking a bunch of legacy titles and you can go in like after you install it and if you hit the options button, there's an option that'll come up that says like boost mode or something like that, and then it'll have like a little check mark. Like it doesn't turn itself on automatically, which is kind of dumb, IMO, but
It's a little weird.
I think the reason is because they must have like a switch that detects whether or not the console is a Series S or Series X, but they don't want to turn it on if the like display doesn't support it and things like that. Like I don't know if
Well, that makes sense.
I
It's
mean,
more
they have a way of
technology.
knowing your display, right?
I don't know, man.
They
I'm
know.
just a guy who talks to
I'm
developers.
just-
I'm just a guy who works with people that do this stuff. I have no idea.
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. But it's great as is. Like I'm really enjoying that. So Audrey obviously isn't always available to like chill next to me on the couch and check out Prey and like figure out what's going on, which like the story is like totally grip me, which it's Arcane, so of course it is. But like when it's just me just playing games, then like I've been finally taking advantage of quick resume for the first time in my life and just like, yo, I'm gonna try out Dragon Quest 11. And like I'm having a freaking blast. It's so nice to be able to just bounce instantly back and forth between games like that with no loading.
Quick resume, man.
Especially because I tried to play Dragon Quest XI's demo on Switch, and the load times are ridiculous. And on the Series X, the load times like almost don't even exist.
Yeah.
Like, and then you add quick resume to that, and it's like, hell yeah, man, it's great. It's great. Oh, and that game Reky that I mentioned earlier is on itch, and it's spelled Reky. It's a really fun puzzle game. It's like a kind of MC Escher like. Not completely, but like it's like I don't know. Check it out.
Nice. Sorry, I was
Just
trying
the
to. I thought
fable.
this would be a lot easier to find. Oh, here we go. 1440p at 60 FPS
Okay.
is what the
What can
the
what
boost
can you
mode
do?
will do.
Okay. What can you do at 4K? Is it just 30?
I think that's as high as it goes.
Okay.
You get what you get, and you don't get upset.
Okay. I will try not to.
All right, kid.
I mean, it's better than the PS5, which can't output at 1440p. But hey,
variable refresh rates.
That's right. It can't. I forgot about that.
No, it can't. They say it's coming. God knows when. They say it's coming. I'll tell you what, though. I don't know if I talked about
Xbox
this.
can do what PlayStation can't.
Yeah, well done.
PlayStaesh.
We'll PlayStaesh.
The PlayStation can't.
Tomb Raider. I think I've talked about this. I don't know how Crystal Dynamics had the foresight to like make that game scale up as well as it does on next gen consoles. The first Tomb Raider game, 4K locked 60 FPS. I don't know how they like got that to work.
It's because it's old.
Yeah. No, but like I don't even think they patched
That's
it.
it.
Like it just works that way.
That's one of the things that I
No,
was
they
thinking about
did.
when I
They
started up
patched
Prey.
it for
I was
Pro.
like,
Well, no, I think they did recently.
Oh, okay.
Because I
That
think there was
explains
a
it then.
whole like Digital Foundry video about it.
Okay.
oh yeah, I do remember that. That was one of the things we were talking about. Like you were talking about, like playing like Black Mesa, which is great, and I still need to go back and play the final
Oh.
level of that
I forgot I was playing that last week.
because I never finished the original Half-Life, so I don't know how it ends. And like I went through Black Mesa before the final chapter was done, and so I need to actually go back and finish it. But that like it's not anywhere even remotely as old as Half-Life, or I guess even the engine that Black Mesa used. But like Prey looks unreal, like unbelievably good on the Series X.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
You know, it's like, and that came out in like what 2016.
Something like that.
So it's
I
like
mean, that
it's like
game,
5 years
Something like
old.
that.
that game got like, you know, it seemed like it didn't get a lot of coverage, or at least I don't think any of us played it at the time.
I played it.
Did you? Did you like
Yeah,
it?
I watched Nicole beat the whole game. Yeah, I liked it. I just thought it was long.
Yeah. No, it
Right-
I don't know why.
yeah,
I
right
didn't
now,
dip into it.
I'm not looking up anything. Like I was like, oh, I'm curious how far through the game I am, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll look it up. No, I'm not gonna look anything up because it's been so long since I didn't know literally anything
Yeah.
about a game. Like there's like a kind of a twist. There's a twist that happens almost immediately in the game, and then there's another twist that happens like a couple hours later, and like all of it is like, wow, this is so great. Like it is so wonderful to not be writing a guide for this game and just
Taking it
be able
in.
to engage with it at my own leisure. It's fantastic.
That's awesome.
And I'm just like going from normal mode, and I'm not reviewing it, so I'm like going from normal mode to like easy mode to like story mode because I just want to beat this stupid thing up and get past it. And it's like it's freaking great, man. I'm having a blast. And right before this, I was in this space where I was just like, I don't know what I want to play. Oh, this choice paralysis, all this sort of, my wrist hurts because of this tournament and all this sort of stuff, you know. And now I'm back, baby. I'm back, and it's Prey, and I love it.
So-
and I knew that Arcane would do it. They would bring it back for me.
I actually had the same thing with Black Mesa, where like that's a game that I was playing Half-Life Alyx, and I got to the point where I was like, I'd love to have some context. I played Half-Life 2 on the Orange Box, like on 360. And
That's another game that I've never beaten any of the Half-Life games.
I mean,
I beat 2.
I beat all of 2 and all the episodes, but like I just
I
remember
got
how
past
it ends.
like
But
I got past Ravenholm, and I think I just quit.
that happens to a lot of people, I think, with that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like, for the time it came out, it is revolutionary, but when you play it now, it's like not as
No.
good. And maybe that's because I played it way later, way after it came out. And I was like, this just kind of feels like a first person shooter, like that I would play now, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like,
But-
yeah, at the
and
time,
game
back
it-
then
kind
it
of feels-
didn't.
I was just gonna say the game kind of feels like the other Valve games, which is like even stuff like Left 4 Dead. It feels like you're playing on like almost a Mario Brothers ice level, like with your movement in almost all the
Oh.
Valve games. To me, feels like
Source Engine. I mean, that was,
Yeah.
that's how they all played.
Yeah.
But it was, they were designed for mouse and keyboard, and that's
Yeah.
what they at the time. That's what they thought felt best.
Yeah.
But they also didn't have that much competition. I mean, like that game, and like really all the Valve games, like they're obviously very important. To just FPS games in general. But man, so like Black Mesa started out as a fan mod, and then Valve was like, and they were like, hey, we want to like make this whole thing. Can we sell it on Steam? And Valve went, yeah, we'll let you do that.
which is nuts.
It's insane.
I mean, they're getting a cut of it anyway.
Of course.
so
I
why
mean,
do
and
they
it's being
care?
sold on their platform. So like, what do they have to lose? They're like, oh, we have a better version of a
It's
game that's
free-
super old.
Free money that they didn't have to do at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Hey, do you want a remaster of your game, basically?
yeah, is
and
what
then
they
you
did.
get to make money off of it.
Yeah.
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 I mean, when you put it that way, it's pretty good.
Why not, right?
Yeah. Why
the
would
quality
you
of the
say
game.
no?
Yeah, and the quality of the game is like very high. Like Black Mesa is very good.
Yeah, I can't believe. And it's funny because like now I'm going through like that thing where I'm like getting really sucked into like just the world of it. Like I'm like I want to know everything about like the Half-Life universe. I'm like this game's fucking 20 years old. Like I can't even. I'm looking at forums from like 2004 of people like, oh man,
Yep.
what a crazy world and experience you're having.
Can you believe the military?
Wow, terrible. It is, it's exciting playing this and knowing that I'm going to go from this to Alex or continue Alex. And then I don't know if I'm going to do Half-Life 2 again. Cause like Josh said, like, I think it's the kind of game I would play if they did like a Black Mesa type of remake too. But, it's just so creepy. Like the head crabs, like I haven't played a game since Dead Space that's given me the heebie-jeebies the way that Black Mesa does, like throughout the entire experience. I mean,
Yeah,
since
that's
Dead
one of the
Space.
things. I'm like, I don't know that I can do that game because of the head crabs. I think I would freak out
Oh,
and
it's
just
just
Oh,
not,
Half-Life Alex?
not continue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Half-Life Alex is actually really smart in how, because it has to like be able to play on lower end hardware, they don't throw a lot of enemies at you at any given time. So like you could go into an area and like there's only like 4 or 5 head crabs that you may have to encounter. But what makes it tense is like you have to physically go through the action of like I have 10 bullets and it takes at least 2 to take out a head crab. And if I miss a shot, I have to unload the clip, reach behind me, put the clip in, activate it, and then I can start going after them again. But while all that's happening, they're still leaping at you and everything. It
Mhm.
Yeah.
adds that tension.
Maybe it's only me, but I never found head crabs that scary. I found them startling because they were jumping at me.
Oh,
But
Mr. I have arachnophobia over here.
I find so the thing that actually makes me scared. I don't think they look like spiders either.
They do to
but-
me. They look enough like it.
Well, let me. They look like little pigs to me. Little jumping pigs.
Jumping pigs with no heads.
The things that look like spiders to me are face huggers, which are terrifying.
Yeah, those creep me out too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do any
Oh,
alien VR shit.
there's a
No way.
thing in Black Mesa. I don't know what it's called, but I had never seen it before, and I'm gonna warn you too because I love you. If you ever decide to play this, or like if you have, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I have played Black Mesa all except for the last level.
So it's those little dog things with all the teeth, and then they like pulse at you. They'll be like, "Ooh," and then it clicks.
I don't remember
It like
that.
shotgun
What's down?
blast, and it like shotgun blasts this like sonic wave at you. The first
They
time,
boof at you.
The first time I saw it, I was like, "What the fuck is that?" Like, I haven't had a moment like that in so long where I was like genuinely terrified of something I'd never seen before.
I'm gonna be
They're
honest
like-
with you. I don't remember
Oh
this
my God.
at all. Let me
I'll-
look up
let me-
the. Let me
I'll
look
see
up
if I
the.
can pull up
You
a
keep.
picture.
You keep talking. You keep
Like,
talking
all
about
right.
that.
Take a look at my boof
They're
stick.
the little Boofulas. Yeah, they these things are terrifying. Now Black Mesa though, I mean, it's probably only you can run it on a potato. I mean, it really doesn't take much to run that game.
Well, yeah, that game came out in like what, the 90s.
Well, no, Black Mesa was like last year.
Well, I know, but
Well,
like,
yeah, Half-Life came out.
they didn't like. I've
94
looked
or
at it.
something.
It doesn't look like, you know. It looks like
It's not
Half-Life 2.
changing the world, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm loving it. I'm bummed that Returnal came out this weekend because that game has really got its hooks in me. And I was like just like really getting into Black Mesa, so now I have to like go back and forth. And there's only so many hours in a day. But do you find these boofs? Actually, I guess I have to find it because I have to share the thing on the stream. Hold on. Black
Are they
Mesa
green?
enemies. Hold on. They are not. They're these things. What are they called? They are. Oh, this is great podcast content right here. That
Heck
we're doing.
yeah, baby.
I don't know.
You know it.
I don't know what they're called. I'm gonna
Just paste them in the platformer chat.
Open new tab. Oh, then they're gonna see all my stuff. It's fine. Here. Beep boop boop boop.
Okay, yeah. So that's the thing. I don't remember those at all.
They are terrifying.
Okay.
I hate them. And like was genuinely
Okay, not what I was envisioning, but okay.
they have those teeth expand and they're like
Ooh.
it's awful.
Yeah, you've told us about the.
Black Mesa, go
So-
play it. It's great.
Was that all you were up to this week?
Oh no, Returnal, my friend. You want to?
Oh yeah.
Gentlemen, here I'm gonna start this off.
Well, hold on.
hold on.
Josh, were you up to anything this week, or shall we just wrap the show with Returnal thoughts?
We'll just wrap it with Returnal.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I wasn't doing anything new
Okay. I
at
didn't want to
all.
hijack
And I want to
the
hear
show.
about Returnal, even though I'm going into a period where I will probably not be buying video games, but I would like to hear about Returnal so that when I
Yeah.
re-enter that form, I can look at
And
it.
by then it'll be on sale because that's how
Yeah,
first party
probably.
PlayStation
Well,
works.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Oh, by then, so you mean weeks time,
Yeah.
is what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, by Black
Yeah, we'll
Friday they'll
see.
be giving it away.
Oh, probably.
Probably.
So tell us, Chris. Tell us all about Returnal.
I need to preface all of this by saying I've never played a roguelike game ever. I've never played one.
What?
It's never happened.
I call
After all the stuff I
shenanigans.
said, after
I
all
never
the stuff
played
I said,
Hades.
you never played
I
Hades.
never played Hades because I'm waiting for it to come to either Xbox or PlayStation. And I said that when it came out. I told that to everyone. And I wasn't going to play it on
I
PC.
call shenanigans. You have to have played one at some point.
Like what?
I don't know. There's so many.
I'll
Chris.
say this.
There's like
the closest I've played, and not
Dead
even for that
Cells?
long. Nope. I played The Binding of Isaac.
Binding of
and it
Isaac
was-
is one.
And it was too hard. I was just like, I'm not here to.
It is.
like,
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
It's just like I didn't enjoy it enough to like learn it enough to then get good at it.
While you're talking about this, I'm looking up a list of roguelikes.
Sure. The
To
other one.
see if there's anything.
Oh, I'm dying. The other one is Spelunky. I've never, or I played on the Vita a little bit, and I was like, this just isn't for me. I don't really get what are we doing here, and then I just never.
Did you ever play Downwell?
Maybe for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
I've never like.
so you're a liar.
I've never like.
Did you ever play
gotten-
Below?
No.
Okay.
Gotten into a roguelike or roguelite game. I know he's
Well,
gonna come
you
out.
You should play Slay the Spire.
never
'cause
played
it's
Slay the
freaking
Spire.
Great, dude. It's so good. It's on Game
Enter the
Pass. And like,
Gungeon?
I've
No.
been obsessed with
Darkest
it lately.
Dungeon?
Darkest Dungeon's also very good. Enter the Gungeon also very good and on Game Pass.
You get
Nuclear Throne?
3 more for brevity's sake. We're getting long in the tooth
Crypt
here.
Crypt of the Necrodancer?
I haven't played that one.
I have played that. I played a lot of that.
Ha
game.
ha! I gotcha. I freaking told you I'd get
There
you.
you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Chris Schreiber, you're a liar, and you'll spend an eternity on this ship.
you have a debt to pay.
99 souls.
Soulz-ah. So,
God bless
Returnal.
Bill Nighy.
Returnal is actually the Metroid game that Sony hasn't made until now. Like, it's the Metroid game that I want Nintendo to, or how do I put this?
You better tread carefully, man. 'cause
I've grown.
You're,
No.
You're walking across hollowed ground.
No, it's like I've grown up. I've gotten older. It's the Metroid game that I want Nintendo to make that they won't. That has like a new like take on it.
So any game? Okay.
No.
So any Metroid game,
no,
basically?
no, because I mean, like, you have your
One
Metroid.
thing I will give to Nintendo, they know how to announce a Metroid game.
Yeah.
They certainly do. No, I mean it. Obviously, like your taste changes as you get older, things like that, and you only have so many hours in a day. Like, if they come out and they're like Metroid Prime 4 is going to be 30 hours long, or whatever. I'm rambling. Anyway,
That would be surprising.
that would be surprising. Anyway,
Because Metroid games are like 8 hours.
the point
tops.
Returnal's very good, right?
Okay.
I think Mitch Saltzman, his review is spot on in that the moment-to-moment game. Granted, he is clearly, because I'm not good at it, a much better player at Returnal than I am. Because he said in his like 45 hours of it, he died 24 times or something like that. I'm probably already at 12, and I've probably sunk 6 hours into this game. So I'm not very good at it, which is fine. I'm learning just like how these types of games work, like through this process. That and it's a Housemarque game, so like they're more difficult. They're for more like veteran, experienced, hardcore types of players, which obviously in my age
They make
I'm not.
arcade style games.
They do.
Yeah.
Man.
And one of the core tenets of arcade games is it's tough.
Yeah. It is such a like U2. It is such a game for U2. It's insane. My only gripe about it is the whole save point thing. So like right now, like every run that you do, they say it can go anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours. I would argue and say it's probably closer, at least for me, it's probably closer to like 2 to 4 plus maybe. Because I'm going through every nook and cranny and picking up every possible thing that I think is necessary to like do well in the run. But it's really smart in how so like each biome that you go to, I've only done the first 2 all the way through. I got to the 3rd this morning and died. But like when you complete one, you get an item that will help you when you like go back and do new runs of the game. So like one of them is a grappling hook. So like when you're going through it,
So that's a permanent unlock?
yeah. So like you'll see
Okay.
like, oh, okay, there's like a ledge up there. I can't get to it because I haven't made it that far in the game to get this item. And then, in those areas, there are like better items for you to use that'll help you progress further as like you're going through it. One of the things that it does really, and I don't know if this is like indicative of all, games of this genre. So you guys will have to tell me, but they have this thing. It's called a parasite system, where you'll go around and because you're on this like alien planet, there are all these like parasites around that you can pick up. And it could be like something along the lines of you can do like an active reload like in Gears of War.
Okay.
If you successfully active reload, your alt fire will automatically like recharge to like the fullest thing. But your melee cooldown is like twice as long or something like that. Like it always comes with like a caveat. So like it changes how you have to play. And then you try to pick up parasites that cater to your play style and then hinder the things that maybe you don't do as often. And like that's how you do better and have better experiences.
Some have that.
Okay.
Yeah, some
Slay
roguelikes
the
have
Spire has that a lot, where you'll enter a room
Yes.
and it's like you'll take this curse, which is a card that gets thrown in your deck, which every time you pull it, it just doesn't do anything. So it's like you're getting one less card, right? But you'll get 175 gold to
Right.
spend at the shop, which could get you stuff, or you could use like that gold to remove a card from your deck, so you could get the curse out later and stuff. But yeah.
Okay.
And then in Hades, they've got things that you can decide before the run, which are like extra challenges. So it'll be like enemies have extra armor, but it'll refresh the rewards that bosses can give you. So it'll be like you'll get a high level resource from beating these bosses, but if you've already beaten them on that difficulty level, they won't. And so you can add those little modifiers to increase the challenge, but the first time you beat the first boss, it'll give you that first time reward again.
Got it.
And stuff like that. So like different games have different twists on that, but that is interesting. And I think Dead Cells had some stuff like that
Okay.
with like the stat ups.
Kind of, yeah.
Or it would be like your red weapons do more damage, but like your other ones don't, or like you miss out on the ability to get more health because you could have picked like a green stat up or something like that. So like that is good to know. That's not unheard of, but that specific system and the fact that you find those like out in the world, just like laying around.
Well, it could be like
a little interesting.
you go into a room and there could be a chest with it in there, or
Okay.
you defeat an enemy and it could drop it, like things like that.
Okay.
The other thing that
That's interesting.
yeah. The other thing it'll have is there could be it'll say it's like infected, or it'll be a malignant.
Oh, what am I talking about? Hades absolutely has those, the dataless hammers. And then some of the special abilities will like alter things and like remove certain stuff. Yeah. So that's definitely something.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that alone, like, definitely, and as you know, as I'm playing it more, I'm learning like what a lot of these things do and what I do and don't like. Like there's one that it doesn't matter what the parasite has, if the the negative impact is that every time I pick up an item, I take damage, because that's a thing. I'm not picking up that parasite because it's super annoying. Because health is really sparse, and I'm constantly picking. Like I go through and I'm a gatherer, so like I try to get as much as I possibly can for when I get further into the game. But no, I mean the world is really cool. You could tell me that the voice actress is Eris Morn, and I would believe you. There are moments where she sounds just like her. It's not her, but
well, I was gonna say, have you looked? Have you?
I did. She's in a bunch of other games, but it's not. She's not in Destiny, unfortunately. She's very good though. The world building itself it's just weird.
I imagine, is it kind of like Dark Souls, where it's like you're just finding little snippets of the story as you go along?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe I haven't.
And you just kind of try to piece together these sorts of things.
So like you'll go around and there's like data logs. So you'll come across like a corpse of Celine, who's the main character. You'll come across one of her corpses, and with it there's like a recording, and she'll play it.
Okay.
And then that, like, she's talking, like, that Celine is talking about the experience that she had, in whatever like run that was or whatever. Because the whole thing is, every time you die, it flashes back to her crash landing on this planet, and then she lands as if like, oh my god, like I don't know what's happening. But now she's becoming like sentient of the fact that like this is going on, and like why is it happening? So you're trying to piece together as you like progress through the story.
It's a fantastic premise.
Oh yeah, I mean the way that they've managed to, write a story around this type of gameplay. It's not like some crazy.
It's not revolutionary, because like they did that with Hades.
Yeah, but it is cool. It's a good way to go about it, instead of just being like, here's this game with literally no narrative, and you're just going through it level by level. That's fun, but it just adds another element to it.
For sure.
But it has its hooks in me, the way that Resogun did when I was like high score chasing. And
God, don't tell me that,
dude. It's real good.
Because like all I've been playing lately are like roguelikes and stuff, and I'm like, this is the last thing I need.
And Loop Hero.
Yeah, which I still haven't beaten, but I'm on the final thing.
Final level.
Yeah, I just haven't been in the mood, but one day I will go defeat that.
I actually walked away from a couple of other things. Like I stopped. I was in the middle of Divinity Original Sin 2's like the beginning of its second chapter, which is like, or the second act, which I think it's like a 3-act game, but the second act is like really big. and I fired it up, and I was like, no, I don't feel like playing this. And the first thing that it really like got me back is Prey. So I'm definitely not gonna play Returnal. Well, you know what? Actually, maybe I'll bench Dragon Quest 11 as my solo game and start playing Returnal as my solo game.
So, what I will say this, Bri, because I think you and my friend Pants are probably on the same like skill level, just like in terms of like playing video games in general.
And what skill level is that, my
Very
friend?
good. No, I mean he was like, isn't this supposed to be a difficult game? And I was like, yeah. I'm getting my ass kicked. But I just don't play that many video games anymore. And he was like, oh, I beat it on my 4th run. And I wonder, like, the way that you have to, it's almost like a Twitch reaction of like, you have to be like catered to like dodging and like getting out, like projectiles are coming at you. You have to, be able to, find a way around them or counter them. And I would imagine if you were a veteran Dark Souls player or Demon Souls player, you're probably much better at this game than the majority of other people.
I'm really interested to find that out.
Yeah. I think, Brian, like literally, I think you will absolutely love this game. It has like a Metroid kind of vibe. The map system even is like there will be moments where you go through, and even the way that it's laid out, it'll have either like a rectangle door, which is like this is like you're progressing through, or a triangle where it's like, hey, this is a sidetrack thing. You don't have to do this, but you can if you want to get more items. And then there's a bunch of other ones too. But there will be moments where it's like I have to leave that to the side so that I can either get better items to then go into this more difficult area and all that. You figure that out as you go. But no, all I kept thinking was the two of you would absolutely love this game for different reasons.
It sounds like a thing I would want.
The problem with it though is like I'm sitting here right now and I'm like, I wonder if I could play it before bed, and I can't, because if I get a good run going, I'll be up till 1 a.m. and I know I will.
Because if you sleep you might
Dude,
lose.
It's not even that.
I
swear it's not even that. Yeah. It's that fun, and it's like that engrossing.
You like just don't want to stop.
You don't even realize how much time has passed. Like I started this morning at like 5:30, and I was like, Google, what time is it? She's like, it's 8:15. I was like, shit, I gotta like go to work. I just didn't realize that.
I've had that issue with Slay the Spire and Enter the Gungeon, where I'm like, one more run, but the problem is like my runs usually like 40 minutes long, and then it's like, oh, it's 2 a.m. Yeah, great. Yeah. Like I shouldn't be doing this.
And that's one of the things. Like I think that the first, I've played a lot of roguelikes. I've tried a lot of them, Rogue Legacy, like all these sorts of games. And the first one that really sung to me was Hades. Yeah. Like that's the one that I'm like, this is a 10. This delivers on everything. And once you can beat that game, a complete run only lasts like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, and that is such a sweet spot. And in Hades, once you clear a room, like a single room, it saves. Like you can just exit out and resume whenever you want. Right. So hopefully they will implement that sort of a thing.
I think they will. I think, knowing Housemarque and the types of games that they make, they just were like, no, we want this to be a hardcore experience. And realistically, people are just like, no, dude, I have an hour maybe that I can play a day. Like not everybody has 5 hours a day they can dedicate to this one thing. And like, God forbid you're sharing a console with somebody. Like, at this point, you're like, well, don't play the PS5 because it's got my run in Returnal right now. Like it's just.
And if you boot up any other game, it's not going to tell you that it's going to close the thing. It's just going to close it.
Right.
Yeah.
All that being said, though, and it's very possible you play it and you're like, it's fine. I don't think you will though.
You think I'll dig it?
Yeah, I think the two of you would absolutely love it.
Well, it's about time PlayStation 5 comes out with a game I love. All it's been,
you didn't play any of Demon Souls.
Just piles of crap like Demon Souls and Miles Morales and all this sort of stuff. Just garbage. Yeah, no, I like it. I like all those games. So yeah, that would be really good. That'd be really, really good.
Hey, man.
Mm-hmm. It sounds cool. Sounds like a thing I want to play.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah. Man. Well, we got any closing thoughts? before we wrap this one up?
Nope.
Me neither.
If you have any thoughts on our new branding or us on the show or any of that, please tweet at PlatformersPod. We are now PlatformersPod on all of the things.
They're like,
And
I got thoughts. It stinks.
So when we get to that section of the promo, I'm actually gonna have you call out all the platforms that we are on.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for you, our viewers, our listeners, thank you so much for joining us for episode 176 of the Platformers. If you have thoughts, let us know. As he said, at Platformers Pod. Where are we, Platformers Pod?
We are Platformers Pod on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch.tv, Anchor FM. That is not our email, though. Our email is theplatformerspodcast@gmail.com. But most people don't email anymore. They just go on Twitter.
That's true.
Yeah, they just do
That's
that.
true.
Mhm.
And YouTube,
Are we Platformers Pod on
I
YouTube?
think. Let me check. If we're not, we're about
So
to be. We're about to be.
We're about to be. Yeah, and we're gonna export these so that they don't expire on Twitch, right? We're gonna get these on YouTube as well.
Yep.
Cool. So then you'll be able to look back and watch episodes at your leisure. So I know some people prefer not to listen to podcasts; they prefer to watch. And you're welcome. Here we go. This was all Chris. Chris did this for us. I worked on figuring out the reformat of the show. And sizing it down a little bit. We'd grown a little bit too big for our britches over the years. Now we're...
People don't like 3-hour podcasts?
Some people do.
Some people do.
Don't.
I do, but I want to make sure that our listeners have something that they like as well.
For me, it depends.
Yeah,
That's all I'll say.
Audrey, she will not be pleased if I don't call this out. She has said for years, why is your podcast so long? Nobody wants to listen to a 2+ hour podcast.
Oh, I've heard it.
To which
I've heard it for forever.
Yeah. But anyway, let us know what you think of our tight trim format now. And thank you to Chris for handling that and the social media rebranding and the new art, which I think is great. Our new streaming template, all this sort of stuff. It's definitely a team effort, and we really appreciate you coming along on this ride with us.
Thank you, Brian.
So that's where you can
thank you, John, as well, who was in the chat, who was a buddy of mine from work. Thank you, John.
Hey, thanks, John.
I was like, that's a funny way to say my name for a second.
Anyways, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Ribnax, Ribnax. I got you this time.
You can find me on Twitter. I don't tweet that much at the Jawa Josh. And if you want to see all the cool video essay stuff I'm working on, you can go to youtube.com/braintap. The Spider-Man video is still being worked on. So probably not for a couple more weeks. It's a big one. So
you can find me at Shrives93 on all of the things.
Cool. And now watch us stream at twitch.tv/platformerspod. And please review us on your podcast platform of choice. And if you have a good time with the show, tell friends about it. And now I can finally say, hey, hit that like and subscribe button. You know what I mean? Give us a follow. Anyways, that's it for this week's show. From everybody here at the Platformers, we hope you have a wonderful week and stay safe out there, because until next time, we are out.
Bye.
John, I will not talk about Valheim. I love you.